Hey everybody, it's Sarah with Buckeye Outdoors. We have the i1R 2 EOS flashlight from Olight. I've had this guy for about a week now. I did a unboxing initial look review, and this is going to be our full review. And keep in mind, down the road, all these lights, these newer lights, I do long-term reviews. It's usually 6 months to a year in. And in that time, I've really had time to pick the lights apart and see what little ugly things might rear their head or what really good qualities might rear their head. So I do try and I do strive to bring you those down the road. This little light is something else. In my reviews, I try to find fault in lights. I really do. I don't want to be labeled as that reviewer that only finds good in everything. I'm kind of struggling. Maybe the one thing I don't like is I could lose it easily because it's small. I mean, I could. I can't find a lot of fault with this light. The only thing is I think over time, the screwing and the unscrewing, the old twisty head action to turn it on and off, I could feel a little bit of a metallic grind in there. Well, how's that going to act a year from now, 6 months from now, 2 months from now? I don't know. I'm really having a hard time with this light, finding fault in it. Again, it's a little tiny tear optic built-in battery. It's hard to beat, man. I mean, I got beam shots of this thing where it is just bonkers bright for something that is smaller than a AA battery. Significantly smaller than any of the Olight 123 base lights. I love this thing, man. It's an awesome little light. Let's take a look at it. All right, so, there really isn't a whole lot to the little guy. Obviously, you get the box, and we talked about its pertinence in the first video, but you can definitely pause that and take a look. 13 grams. I mean, that thing, it just weighs nothing. It doesn't have any weight to it. I do want to do a little comparison of a rechargeable AA and this light. Okay. Right, it's tiny. Now another comparison. Let's compare it to a Well-Tool T1 AA light. That's a small light, and I mean it's just a monster compared to it. Right? And let's compare it to a Phoenix E18R. I mean, and last but not least, let's compare it to the i1R Baton 2. It's so small. All right, so let's take a closer look at the light. Yeah, I mean, it's just so tiny, right? Again, two modes, just twist to on, twist to off, twist to low mode, twist to high. Now, of course, this thing can be charged, and it's real simple. I like it. Again, the long term, we'll see how it holds up. I mean, I'm going to put this on my keychain after this video, and it's going to officially start getting thrashed. So, once it's on the keychain, man, it's on. We all know how this works. Whoa, kitty. My cats are such trolls. They really are. So to charge this bad boy, you simply unscrew it. There's your charging port. There's your USB. And just like that, she's being charged. That is I have a video on that Anker charger too. You guys have to check that thing out. That thing is dope. That's the second Anker charger I've had. And God, I just love these things. What I don't know, of course, I believe that's 800 milliamp hour battery in there at 800. One thing I did notice, you'll notice it's kind of bent because the plug, the edge is a little large. It's just kind of pushing on it. It's still getting a charge though, that's what's important. But just note that if some of your charging cables have fat plastic heads around them or bodies, it may have a hard time working on there. So just know that. So yeah, definitely do know you could have issues with that. So overall, I mean, it's so tiny, and I just love the thing. It's hard to be angry at this light, you know. That's the thing, right? Let's just briefly, let's chat about runtime. 150 lumens for 40 minutes out of something that big. All right, out of something that big. That I can't find argument with that. The 5 lumens will go on for 6 hours. I believe that's slightly exaggerated. I know there were some other testers that were pulling some incredible runtimes out of this. So, I don't know. What do you think? Drop in the comments. But you know what? Let's go check out some beam shots now. Hey everybody, we are out here with the i1R 2 EOS by Olight. We're going to be doing some beam shots. This is at the cemetery area where I like to shoot so much. Being that this is such a tiny light, it's going to be a little limited. So we're at a 150 foot point out directly in front of us where you see the blinking lights. There is a hill 20 foot up with 65 foot tall trees, 150 foot out. Think we'll see them? I kind of doubt it, because this little guy just hasn't got the punch in it. So lowest mode, you can see it's lighting up some traffic cones about 100 foot out. Highest mode, it's illuminated the backdrop enough to see the trees, but not much else. Honestly, I didn't expect too much. That little set tree is about 40 foot away. Probably 12, 15 foot tall. All right, let's go somewhere else. Okay, so that tree is about 30 foot out. You'll see a sign that says Mausoleum Vase Program, Vase Program. Depending on who you are and what dialect you use, it's vase, 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 whatever. Round thing that holds flowers. Whatever works for you, though. So that's about 30 foot out. That is on the highest mode, and this is on the lowest mode. As you can see, it's not doing anything too spectacular, but I didn't, like I said, this little guy, I didn't expect a whole lot out of him. Let's take a walk with him. You can kind of get an idea of the color. Road's about 20 foot wide, 25 foot wide. That sign way down there is about 130 foot out. Let's go check out these decorations and get you an idea of the color rendition of this light, especially when I change modes. So there's your low mode, and that's pretty pleasant, right? I mean, look at that. Nothing wrong with that. High mode. And low mode. You know, that low mode, now that I'm really out here in the dark with it, it's really enough to work around. You could really walk around quite well with that at night if you needed to. Not enough to really see that marker, but memory trees. Memory trees are really cool. So, since I can't do a lot of distance, you know, I figured we would do something like this with it. Alright guys, that's about all I've got for this little guy. I'm not sure what else I could really do with it. I mean, I could compare it to the M2R Pro Warrior, but, well, that isn't exactly fair. But you know what? There's actually a really good comparison right here. Let me calculate my distance, 10, 20, 30, 45-ish feet to the edge of that corner of that mausoleum right there. Again, that mausoleum is about 20 foot tall. This is on the highest mode of that light, and I gotta say, for something just a hair smaller than my pinky, I'm actually pretty damn impressed with this light. I like this thing. I like it a lot. So, look at that. That's impressive. This thing, you see how tiny this thing is. Wow. The color rendition's really good and clean. I mean, all right. Yeah, this light's killer, man. All right, guys, that's about all I got for beam shots. I do hope you enjoyed. Cheers. Well, what did y'all think of that? I'm having a hard time finding fault with it. It's so killer. I just, maybe the screw portion in the future, maybe it's a little harder to get some USB plugs in. I don't know. It's pretty, I don't have a lot to complain about. And I could usually complain about everything. People that know me, like, I complain about everything. So I usually try to find fault as best I can. But I think the key is time will tell with this. It's going to go on my keys. It's going to get beat to hell. If you look at the i1R, it's thrashed. And I mean thrashed. But I do think Olight hit a home run with this. I think it's a spectacular little light. I can't wait to get it out and use it and try different versions of it. I think it's a home run. So do you have this light? I think some of you might have gotten a version of this for free. I'm not sure. I don't follow Olight a whole lot. But I know they were giving some lights away, and I don't know if this was it. Let me know if it is. But until then, guys, you know what the drill is. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share this. Do drop some comments down below. I love talking with you guys. Just be respectful. I kick trolls all the time. So, yeah, drop some comments. Let me know what you think about these little guys, man, because these are killer. It's really hard to find fault with this thing. You know, I'm having a hard time with that, and I usually definitely don't have a hard time finding fault in anything. So, guys, on that note, I do hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think. Cheers.